Have you ever considered that fear and freedom can coexist? In the grand tapestry of human emotions, fear often weaves its threads in stark contrast with the vibrancy of freedom. It's a natural part of our existence, a primal response designed to protect us from perceived threats and dangers. But what happens when this protective mechanism becomes a cage, locking us away from the world, from experiences, and from freedom? The paradox of fear and freedom is a fascinating one. In one corner, we have fear, the great inhibitor, often seen as the antithesis of freedom. It can be overwhelming, making our world seem smaller, more dangerous. It can limit us, make us hesitate, and even prevent us from taking actions that could lead to growth and fulfillment. In the other corner, we have freedom, the expansive, limitless state of being able to act, think, and speak without restraint. Freedom is the vast sky. It's the open road. It's the ability to dream and to chase those dreams without holding back. But here's the twist. Fear and freedom aren't enemies. They aren't locked in an eternal struggle for dominance. They can and often do coexist. So if fear and freedom can coexist, why do we often feel so trapped by our fears? The issue isn't fear itself. Fear is a part of us, an instinct as old as humanity itself. The issue lies in our response to fear. When we let fear control us, when we let it dictate our actions and decisions, that's when it becomes a problem. That's when it hinders our freedom. But what if we could change our response to fear? What if instead of letting it control us, we learned to navigate it, to use it as a compass, pointing us towards growth and self-improvement? The true challenge lies not in eradicating fear, but in learning to navigate it. And as we journey through the following scenes, we'll explore how this navigation can be achieved, turning fear from a cage into a catalyst for freedom. Today we delve into the story of Emily, a woman who discovered her freedom by neutralizing her fear. Emily was an ordinary woman, leading an ordinary life in a small English town. She had her daily routines, her comforts, her habits, but beneath the surface of her ordinary life, Emily was imprisoned by fear. She was afraid of change, afraid of the unknown, afraid of failure. These fears were so deeply rooted that they limited her freedom, dictating her choices and preventing her from exploring the multitude of possibilities that life had to offer. Her fears became her cage. Emily's life was a series of safe choices, each one a reflection of her fear. She was content, or so she thought, to live within the confines of her fears, never daring to venture beyond her comfort zone. But deep down, a small part of Emily yearned for more. She yearned for freedom, for the courage to break free from her self-imposed cage. This yearning grew stronger with each passing day, until one day it became impossible for Emily to ignore. It was a turning point, a moment of clarity and resolution. Emily decided to confront her fears. She was tired of living a life defined by fear and decided to reclaim her freedom. Confronting her fears was no easy task. It required courage, determination, and a lot of self-reflection. Emily had to dig deep to understand the root of her fears and why they held such power over her. She had to confront her deepest insecurities, her self-doubts, her anxieties. It was an arduous journey filled with challenges and setbacks, but Emily was resolute. She was determined to reclaim her freedom, to live a life free from the shackles of fear. With each fear she confronted, Emily felt a little more free. She started making choices that were not dictated by fear, but by her desires, her dreams, her passions. She started taking risks, embracing the unknown, daring to fail. She found joy in the journey, in the process of growth and self-discovery. She realized that fear was not something to be avoided, but something to be confronted and neutralized. Emily's journey from fear to freedom was not a linear one. There were moments of doubt, moments of fear, moments when she wanted to retreat back to her old, safe life. But with each challenge, with each setback, Emily grew stronger. She became more resilient, more courageous, more free. Emily's story is a testament to the power of confronting one's fears. It's a story of transformation, of growth, of freedom. It's a story that reminds us that fear and freedom can coexist, that fear is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of growth. It's a story that inspires us to confront our own fears, to reclaim our own freedom. Because in the end, freedom is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. Emily didn't conquer her fears overnight. It was a journey filled with ups and downs. Emily, like many of us, was a vessel on the vast sea of life, grappling with the waves of fear. She didn't just wake up one day and find her fears gone. No, she had to embark on a journey that was riddled with the potholes of setbacks and the peaks of small victories. Emily's journey began with mindfulness. She started paying attention to her thoughts, her feelings, her fears. Instead of running from them, she acknowledged them. She learned that fear, like any other emotion, is not a monster to be slain, but a messenger to be understood. Her fears were not there to scare her, but to show her where she needed to grow. Next, she turned to positive affirmations. Each morning, she would stand in front of the mirror, look herself in the eye and say, "I am stronger than my fears. I am capable of overcoming anything that comes my way." This was not a mere exercise of vanity, but a ritual of empowerment. It helped Emily gradually replace the narrative of fear in her mind with a narrative of courage and resilience. But Emily knew that she couldn't do it all alone, so she sought professional help. She started seeing a therapist who guided her through her fears, helped her understand them better, and equipped her with the tools to neutralize them. Emily's journey was not a sprint, it was a marathon. It took time, effort, and above all, patience. She had to learn to be kind to herself, to not rush her progress, to celebrate her small victories, and to learn from her setbacks. In this journey, Emily learned that fear and freedom can coexist. Fear is not the absence of freedom, but the catalyst for it. It forces us to break our shackles, to step out of our comfort zone, to grow. Emily's journey shows us that neutralizing fear is entirely possible, but it requires commitment and patience. Emily's story is inspiring, but what can we learn from it? Firstly, we learn that fear is not a sign of weakness or failure. It's a natural emotion, a response to perceived danger or threat. It's an integral part of our human existence, but that doesn't mean we should let it control us. When fear grips you, instead of running away, face it head on. Recognize what it is and where it's coming from. Is it a fear of failure, of rejection, of change? Identifying your fear is the first step towards neutralizing it. Secondly, patience and persistence play a crucial role in this process. Overcoming fear is not an overnight task. It's a journey that requires time and continuous effort. It's about taking small, consistent steps towards confronting your fear. Emily didn't overcome her fear in a day. It took her time, patience, and a lot of self-compassion. So, don't be hard on yourself if you don't see immediate results. Keep going, keep trying, and eventually you'll see the change. And finally, mastering your fears brings freedom. It's not about eliminating fear completely, but about learning to live with it. It's about turning your fears into stepping stones towards growth and self-improvement. It's about not letting fear limit your potential or dictate your choices. When Emily learned to navigate her fears, she found her freedom. She started taking risks, exploring new opportunities, and living life on her own terms. In conclusion, fear is not something to be shamed or avoided. It's something to be understood, confronted, and used as a tool for growth. It's about shifting your perspective and seeing fear not as an enemy, but as a guide. It's about understanding that fear and freedom can coexist, and it's entirely in our hands how we choose to navigate this coexistence. Remember, fear and freedom can coexist. It's all about how you navigate your fears. Emily found freedom in neutralizing her fear, and you can too. Each one of us has the power to rewrite our narratives, to transform our fears into stepping stones towards a life of freedom and serenity. It's not an easy journey, it's not supposed to be. It's a journey of growth, of self-discovery, of becoming the best version of ourselves. Remember, you're not alone. There are countless others who are on the same path, battling the same demons, finding their own freedom. And there are resources available to guide you, to support you, to help you find your way. There is no right time to start, only the present moment. So why not take that first step today? Why not choose to neutralize your fear and embrace your freedom? Join us next time on Soulful Serenity, where we continue to explore the complexities of the human experience. Don't forget to subscribe for more uplifting content each week.